Hello, amazing souls. Welcome to your weekly energy update. And before we jump into the update, I did want to mention that as part of my YouTube subscriber marathon last Friday, I did put out a video on how you can enter a drawing to win one of the 30-minute recorded personal readings. So if you're interested in that giveaway, I will put the link down in the description box below. And at the end of this video, it'll be in the playlist as well. So the more comments I get on that video, the more I will offer of those individual recorded personal readings. So if they interest you, be sure to check that out. So for the energy update for this week, wow, we are entering the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde today on August 21st. And I know, don't freak out. Mercury retrograde can bring some wonderful things, which we will talk about briefly here as well. But all the planets are in retrograde or pre-shadow except for Venus and Mars now. And Mars will actually next week on September 4th also go into pre-shadow. So we'll be only having the planet Venus not in retrograde. What does that mean? Well, retrograde, they all kind of turn that energy more where we're focusing on inward things rather than so many outward things. So you might have been having this for a little bit because all the planets started to go into pre-shadows and retrogrades to, point us inward. So you've probably been feeling it for a while anyway. So at least you know, like, oh, that's why I'm so focused on my inner growth. Well, the Mercury retrograde, of course, like I said, it's going into the pre-shadow, and it's starting off in the sign of Virgo. Now, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it's very much at home there, but it deals with health. It deals with listening to your body, also kind of like your work routine, and also it has to do with pets, too. So as you go into and start this pre-shadow, some of those subjects might come up about reflecting on those. Then on August 27th, Mercury moves into Libra. And of course, Libra is more of that building, healing, relationships types of energy, balancing things, creating win-wins. So that will kind of have a shift in what you're reflecting on. And then we will hit the retrograde itself on September 10th. Now, retrograde means planets actually don't go backwards, of course. So like Mercury is the closest, let's pretend this is the sun. Mercury is closest to the sun. So the Earth is out here. So Mercury's orbits faster, so it's going to go around faster. And so at one point, it looks like it's behind us, but it's actually lapping us. So that does take it into different energies, and that's why that reflection, comes into play with that as well. So even it goes into the retrograde on September 10th, in the sign of Libra, it eventually kind of backs back up and goes back into Virgo on September 24th. And it'll stay in Virgo until it goes direct, which means it starts moving forward again. And it'll be in that post-shadow period until like October 17th. But October 11th, it does move back into Libra, so you can kind of see how you're going to bounce back and forth between that Virgo energy, that Libra energy, the Virgo energy, and back into Libra energy. So, the pre-shadow, we start to feel that emphasis of the retrograde. And then when the retrograde hits on September 10th, we're full-blown in super reflective mode. And then the post-shadow happens when we go direct on October 2nd through October 17th. The post-shadow is not as intense as the pre-shadow and the retrograde. It's more reflecting on what you learned during that reflection period. So little quick update on how that Mercury retrograde works. And of course, Mercury is all about communication, social connection. It actually is also like siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. So that type of relatives, but not like your children or parents, more everyone outside of that. So that might come into play too during this period with those subjects that you'll be looking at. Now, you might have heard, people get scared around the Mercury retrograde and go, oh my gosh, here we go. But there's positive things you can do. Look at it like tides, right? If you're trying to launch a boat, when the tide's coming in, you're going to struggle and it's going to be tough, and the boat probably will capsize, and you're going to invest a lot of energy but not get very far with it. Well, that's the time that you would mend your nets and do stuff, but not try to launch things and put things out there, right? Because when the tide is going out, that's when, the planet's direct. That's when you launch things. Then things go very smoothly and very easily. So during a retrograde, you can take total, use of that energy and edit things, like do the redo things, breathe life into old ideas, clean things out, declutter, deal with the clutter that you have around you. Because during this period also, the energy can bring up old patterns or old challenges for you to review during this period. And it's all this preparation for you to then launch into a new area of your life with this new information that you gleaned during that period. So it can be a very, very positive use of that energy. And, we all need some downtime to rest and rejuvenate and just reflect on things. And that's what this period brings. So we're also going to jump in to each individual zodiac sign and just see what the universe and spirit would like you to know on what you can do with this Mercury retrograde energy from today, August 21st, through October 17th, which will be the end of that post-shadow period. So we'll jump into your reading right now for your sign. All right, Pisces, this is your weekly energy update, and we are going to start off by pulling a card here from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. Give these a good shuffle, and then we will see what the Creator and Spirit would like you to know about how you can use this Mercury retrograde energy for your highest experience. All right, so for our Pisces, what would you like them to know about this Mercury retrograde energy? Okay, actually, they want this one right there. And you've got exchanging gifts. Beautiful. It's card number 27. And I'll just put that right here. And let's see what energy this brings in for you. So this is the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing costs, and determining value. It says you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet, in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So I love that. This is very much the Six of Pentacles energy in the tarot, which is all about learning about that giving and receiving and the kind of the codependency awareness that you don't have to give to receive a tiny bit because of this I'm going to say this belief that was created when you were younger, that if you're not able to give to other people, then what are you worth? They're just going to leave you and go somewhere else for people that will give them what they're looking for. So if you're not able to give, you're going to be alone and rejected, and you're not worthy of love. Somewhere in our earlier years, you might have been given that. And of course, Pisces, you have a huge heart. You are a water sign, so you have such a huge heart that you want to give and love. And so it's very easy to fall into that enabler side of a codependent relationship, where you're the one that's giving, doing, and getting very little in return. So this is a wonderful time for you to reflect on that. Now, I also want to read the relationship message for this card because of that Libra energy you're going to experience in the retrograde. And it says, love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you too. Love is truly yours today. Yeah, so definitely that's that subject of that equal reciprocation, and not having like switching into from an adult to a parent-child relationship where you're giving like a mama baby bird to a baby, to the, a mama daddy giving to a baby bird, right? Where you're giving and not allowing them to give back because you're no, I give to you, you don't give to me. Well, eventually you get exhausted, right? And you continue to give until you get resentful. And a little baby bird wants to give, and if you won't accept what it gives, it'll give somewhere else, like become a workaholic or go to the gym a lot or find a hobby, spend a lot of time with their friends, or even have an affair, So that's kind of what happens with these codependent relationships, is one person ends up getting exhausted and bitter, and the other one ends up going outside the relationship for that wholeness, right? We will, of course, dig in deeper here, and these are the Ancestral Path Tarot, and we'll just see what else they want you to know about this exchanging, this reciprocation, the giving and receiving, the emphasis on the end. Okay, and just one more time here. Here we go. So for our Pisces, what else we want them to know about this giving and this receiving, please? Okay. There's a lot of energy in those cards, but that's the one they want for you. And you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is great. I love the way they present this in here, because cups are your emotions. It's water element, like we talked about, which is your element. And the Seven of Cups basically has this message for you that you've been told on what you're supposed to feel in a situation, right? There's a popular emotion that you were taught when you were young, that when this happens, this is how you're supposed to feel, right? Well, this is showing you that there's another option, that, this might have been the one where they said, yeah, when this happens, this is what you have to feel. But they're showing you that you have the power to choose what emotion you want to feel in any situation. So every moment is simple. It's a choice between unconditional love of the higher realm or the fear of losing conditional love in the human realm. So, of course, that's the one that we grow up with and the one that we're most known for. It talked about your fears in here, and those are what it focuses in on. You can also look at this, that this is the Ace of Cups that's being offered here. Because the Ace of Cups is the Holy Grail. It's the chalice. It's full of the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. And I kind of feel like this is what's being offered for you here, showing you that you have this love inside of you that is without condition from the spirit realm, from the Creator of all things, from, whatever you feel your highest power, your highest sources, whether you call it God or Allah or whatever it might be. You have this unconditional love that comes from above for you. And so I feel like this is what's coming into play here, because you're realizing the worth of the love that you have to give and how disappointing the love was in the outside world. And when you're looking just to give in order to receive, that expectation is what, kind of depletes everything and is very disappointing, because you never get back from the outside what you're wanting, because they can't. That love out there is conditional. It's based on those fears we talked about. But when you turn to this unconditional love on the inside, that is what is fulfilling. These other cups on the outside, if they fulfill you at all, is very short-lived, because it's unstable. If you're looking for relationships to fulfill you, people change or they pass away, so they end up not being fulfilling. If you're looking for your job, your education, your social status, kind of circumstances that you get into to define you, those, of course, we understand situations never stay the same. Life is ever changing, right? And also, if you look to your body, your bank account, your possessions to define your emotional stability, your emotional fulfillment, those things break down, deteriorate, are stolen, or burned down. So you see how all that stuff out there is temporary and unstable and disappointing eventually, where the unconditional love that is here, that because it's unconditional, it doesn't even have one condition, because that's all it takes to make it conditional is one condition. So there's no conditions for it from the Creator and from the spirit world. So there's nothing you can do to lose it. Also nothing you can do to gain more of it, because you already have it all. And it also is eternal, so it's very stable. And so I really love that this is coming in for you here about this, the giving and love and all that. The way you can look at it is, instead of you being a barrel and people are plugging in, sucking the love out of you, instead you're this chalice, this cup. You get to fill up first, and then everyone else gets overflow. In that way, you don't feel empty, you don't feel exhausted, you don't get resentful, because you are filling up with all this love, and everyone else is getting the overflow. So I love this message coming in. We will pull, of course, more. We have the Dreamers deck here, and we'll just pull a card and see what else they would like to add into this for you. All right, what else for our Pisces, please? Okay, that one right here. Wow, okay, beautiful card. I'll let you see it and then I'll read it. And it says, I know that I deserve wonderful things. Say it again. I know that I deserve wonderful things. I am worthy. Can't make it up. And this actually looks like some of the Six of Pentacles cards that I was talking about earlier, about the giving and receiving. See, here's the giver and receiver. So definitely we are in sync with what they are trying to let you know on what you can review and reflect on as you go through this Mercury retrograde. We're also going to use these Chinese tarot and see what else they would like to add. All right, what else for our Pisces, please? Okay, do want that one, and that one, and that one. Oh, wow. So there's actually 5 there. So hidden gems. So we'll start with this one here. Excellent. So you do have the 10 of coins, which would be the 10 of pentacles in the standard tarot. So this is about just fulfillment in the physical world. So you are feeling all of this come into play here. This is like success. This is overflowing abundance. And so definitely with this exchanging gifts, with I'm worthy of receiving this, you are having this transformation in how you see things and in how you are approaching that in your life. The Pentacles suit is like this journey of worth, which this is all about I am worthy. And so you are finding this fulfillment and all this wholeness. The 9 of Pentacles, which is the one right before this, represents you finding it from within. And the 10 of Pentacles, or 10 of coins, is about you filling up and you're so full that it's also overflowing out into the outside world. So I love that this is what is happening during this retrograde for this, kind of 2-month period, is that you are filling up and it's flowing out to everyone around you. Yeah, and then you have the Four of Cups. So cups, like we talked about, are your emotions. The fours are very solid numbers. And so this represents emotional stability that's coming in. So definitely this is all making sense as it's coming together here, because obviously when you have this wholeness and this completeness and you're filling up, you don't feel like you're all over the place. You don't feel like you're out of sync and out of balance in what you're giving and what you're receiving emotionally. You are feeling balanced. You're feeling solid. Like fours are like a solid table. Think of a big table with 4 big honking legs. It's a very solid foundation. And that is what is unfolding for you and what you're getting through this experience, through this retrograde. Yep. Don't freak out about this card, Death and Rebirth, because you have 10 here, which is endings and new beginnings. And the Death card is just death and rebirth. You are ready to let the old ways of thinking and being fall away. You are really sick and tired of feeling exhausted and resentful, and you don't want to be in that position of being the adult in a relationship and attracting children and adults' bodies into your relationships. You want equal partnership, but it is, during this period, it is about looking into that insecurity, that worth of yourself, because if you don't feel like you're worthy to receive, and if you don't feel like you deserve an equal partnership, you will continue to freak out when people give to you, because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be on that end of receiving, because that means you don't need me and you're going to leave me. But if you're like, hey, I'm an awesome catch, I'm a gift to the world, and if you can't see that, that's your problem, not mine. Bye-bye. You gain that confidence where you give and receive equally, and you feel, just okay with it. You don't freak out anymore. So I love that for you. Wow. Yeah, and then you have the Knight of Coins, which would be the Knight of Pentacles. So knights are all about action, because knights, what do? They quest, and what the knight is in search for is the Ace of Pentacles, which is in search of worth. So this definitely, like these two cards represent, at the end of this retrograde, what have you learned? What have you experienced? And this is basically saying you've went on this adventure of finding your worth, but you do find it from the inside based on this unconditional love instead of what other people bring to you and like what you bring to others, defining yourself. You're finding this wholeness within, again, filling up like a big goblet and people getting the overflow. And your final card is the Strength card. And this is so perfect because this basically sums up a lot of it. The tiger represents your human character that you're playing on the planet. And the person on the back here represents your higher self, your spiritual self. So it really brings crystal clear that it is the connection to your inner that brings you the strength, this power, because, the tiger is taught, like we were talking about, it comes down, it's hungry, it's thirsty, like we were talking about with the emotions, it's told to look out here for its fulfillment, like, the relationships and situations and things in your body, but those things don't fulfill, so it becomes desperate, it's so hungry, it becomes hangry, it's hungry, angry, and it's roaring, and it's not aware of its higher self in the beginning, but our higher self is always aware of our human self. It hears us roaring, and so it comes down. It doesn't come down to kill us and put it out of our misery. It doesn't come down to cage us, to protect other people from us. And it doesn't come down to, like with a whip and a chair, to try to manipulate and control us, because it knows what the tiger is truly hungry for and thirsty for is the unconditional love of back home, right? This chalice. So because conveniently our higher self is made of unconditional love, it comes down and gives the tiger, our little human self, this big hug. It brings down the love that we've been looking for all along. And then we no longer are hangry. We're not hungry because we're full with that love. We're not thirsty because it quenched our thirst with that goblet. And so we transform from this roaring tiger into a little baby tiger cub sitting in the lap of our higher self, feeling whole and complete. And our higher self doesn't go off and run away like Superman comes down and rescues and saves people and then flies off. No, now that the tiger is aware of your higher self, of this love, then they walk hand in paw together, experiencing life in a completely different way, not needing and so desperate for the love of the outside world because it's found it from within. And so it can fill up with that. And that's where that overflow comes from. So what a beautiful journey you're having here. It's going to be so freeing for you, this reflective time of this Mercury retrograde, and just about your worth and your love for yourself and for others. And it is going to be transformative if you want to dive into that. So I'm going to leave that there. Now, if you want to participate in that 30-minute personal recorded reading giveaway, I will have that linked in the description box below. It'll pop up here in a moment in a playlist. I'll probably call it giveaways or something like that. You can find the video in there. And the more comments that are on that video, the more of those readings that I will offer for free. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. Also, if you're looking for even more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be notified immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you will be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things, it helps spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video, share a video, comment on a video, and especially subscribing to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so excited, it does want to share the videos of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am very grateful. Also, these are general readings, and as I mentioned, I do offer personal readings. So if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, you can check out the description box to how you can obtain a personal reading. And also, with all of this changes that I'm making in this marathon for YouTube subscribers, I'm introducing a scaled pricing. So instead of having like a set price for personal readings, I'm going to have several different price points that you can select with whatever works for your income. Because I know these days we all have different, ranges of income, but we also have a lot of challenges here and there. So I wanted to be flexible, and Spirit was like, yes, let's go ahead and split those out so that you can choose a price that is in alignment with what you can afford at this time if you are looking for a personal reading. So all that information will be in the description box below. All right, mighty Pisces, as you go through this wonderful adventure and revelation, please know every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing retrograde. We'll be talking soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.